You're listening to the AI-powered marketing show where we investigate and explore the intersection of artificial intelligence with modern digital marketing strategies. Each week, host Keith Bell brings you expert insights, powerful strategies, and the latest tools transforming the world of digital marketing through the power of artificial intelligence. Whether you're a small business owner, coach consultant, digital marketer, or entrepreneur, this show is your blueprint for building smarter, more scalable marketing systems. Discover how to simplify complex tech, leverage automation, and stay ahead of the curve with real-world tactics and high-impact interviews. If you're ready to attract aligned customers, grow your business with clarity, and turn AI into your marketing superpower, you're in the right place. Enjoy the episode, and if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, don't forget to like, follow, and add the show to your favorites. Share it with a friend, leave a review, and say hello in the comments. Your support helps others discover the future of marketing, powered by AI.
Hey everybody, welcome to the AI-powered marketing show where every day we investigate and explore the intersection of artificial intelligence with cutting-edge modern marketing strategies. I'm your host, Keith Bell, and if you are a small business owner, digital marketer, or entrepreneur, or just an AI geek like myself, you are in the right place. Now today, the AI-powered marketing show is beyond excited to welcome Eva Dong, the brilliant lead of AI monetization at Google Cloud with over 10 years of experience at tech giants like Google, McKinsey, and Visa, and a track record that includes launching an AI startup. Eva is a true force in the world of AI-powered marketing. She's here today to share how brands can go beyond buzzwords and actually drive revenue with AI. This is going to be a great conversation, packed with insights you don't want to miss. So hit the follow, leave us a 5-star review. It helps with the algorithm and growing the show. And if you're enjoying the show, make sure you share this with your networks of friends. Every day we try to grow the show a little bit more. And without further ado, please welcome to the show, Eva Dong. Eva, how are you?
Hi, Keith. Thank you for having me.
Yep. So we finally made it for my audience. We have been going back and forth. What's it been, a year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been you have been, I said in the pre-show, you're like Dora the Explorer. You have been on kind of a journey over the past 12 months. You've, been a little bit of everywhere. Why don't you talk a little bit about what your past year has been like?
Yeah, of course. So last year I was at a crossroad, or you can say like a transformative time for myself. So at that point, I have been staying at McKinsey for 8 years as a data scientist leader in the marketing space and also as a consultant. It's really a humbling experience and a fast learning experience. Had amazing time at McKinsey. And last year I decided I think it's time for me to leave. So I definitely took my time, enjoy myself, enjoy my life a little bit, traveled 2 months in Europe across 10 countries, and then go back to China and spend more time with my family for another 2 months. And after that, I decided to do job hunting. And I think it's about that time Keith and I get into touch. We start talking about this show, but like things get into the way, but I'm really happy. So today I am already part of Google Cloud, and I'm the lead for AI, really value realization for AI. And I'm really glad to be on the show.
Cool. Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on. It's been something we've been working at, I guess, for the past year, but I think there was a couple times you had to cancel because you were going to China, or you're going here, going there. That's why I used the reference of Dora the Explorer, because you were a little bit of everywhere. So as Google's lead of monetization, okay, how do you explain what you do to some like a small business owner?
Yeah. So there's usually I lead with like 3 questions, which are, what does success look like for you? How much does it cost you to get there? And lastly, what is your return of your investment? So my job is to help the clients of Google Cloud to answer these questions. So we can break it down a little bit more. So first question, what does success look like for you? So when it comes to like AI, a lot of people think about like productivity. So, okay, my employees use AI, therefore they save 10 hours per week. That's awesome. That's truly awesome. But I don't think it should stop there, because just because they save 10 hours per week doesn't mean you pay them 10 hours per week less. And they're not just going to do yoga for 10 hours per week more because of this productivity gain. So therefore, we have to take one step further. Okay, they save 10 hours per week. What are they doing for this time saved? Are they picking on a new work stream? Are they working on a new product? If it's a new product launched to your end users, what's the incremental revenue that bring it to you? So success is really cost efficiency plus incremental revenue. And I'd love to quantify this for my client. So not just save money and new product. So we have to quantify within 1 year, how much money are we saving? How much revenue are we creating? So that's the first question, probably the most important question. And the second question, like, how much does it cost you? Because a lot of the AI infrastructure and the AI models are not cheap, especially for big enterprises, like the ones who are using Google Cloud extensively. So if you're investing, let's say, extra $1 million per year, it might be there's some one-time cost, there's development cost, and there's a lot of maintaining costs. So I like to quantify for my client, how much does it cost you? And lastly, was the answer to previous two questions, then you can answer, what is your ROI? What is your return of investment? And you really want to see a really good ROI. And it should be a long-term ROI too. So you should be able to see, I'm probably going to break even in 2 years with this huge investment. And then within 5 years, my ROI will be 500%. Then that would be like a really awesome story. So in summary, my job is to answer this type of quantitative answers for my client at Google Cloud.
So how much of a challenge is it to quantify quantify those particular aspects of a business's overall strategy?
It is not easy, because you can think about, there are so many factors in this. So my first job was a machine learning data scientist. And from that job, I learned, like, even though data is very powerful, analytics very powerful, sometimes it's really hard to model the true world's reality in data. And a lot of time, history does not repeat itself. So you really have to try to consider as many factors as you can. So first of all, when you try to answer the first question, what does success look like for you? It is basically, in machine learning, it is revenue projection model. So you need to think about, how am I right now? What's my business right now? How will my business will be different with this AI tool? And then how different it will be. And then at the same time, how about the macro environment? Like, how will the market be? What will my competitor do? Will my competitor also do the same? Therefore, there's not much market share gain for me. Or am I leading the market as an AI leader? Therefore, my customers will be growing. Therefore, I get more market share, and therefore I grow faster than my competitors. So there's a lot of factors to consider at the end of the day. I think the rule of thumb I'm trying to be is, it doesn't really matter, like, when you say, oh, my revenue will be 10 million or 11 million, like that doesn't really matter. But really matters is, like, is your revenue 10 million more or 20 million more? And then that's like, or 1 million more, then that's really a deciding factor to let you know what you should do today. So try not be super accurate, but it need to be directionally correct to guide all the decisions today.
Well, I think the benefit of it is you're a lot further along in the game with AI than you are without it. Who's your primary customer for Google Cloud Service? Is it the large enterprise type companies at this point?
Yeah, so Google Clouds obviously serve all kinds of customers, and we segment them based on their size. So me specifically serve the big enterprise, but there's a branch of Google that serve like startup and small businesses.
Oh, good. Yeah, because one of the things that I found and we talked about this in the pre conversation, was that I have niched down to small businesses in terms of my audience, because that's that's my ideal customer. That's who I want to serve. And a lot of small business owners, they don't have the budgets that the bigger companies have, to spend on AI products. So it's nice to know that, and Google's always been good about that, about making sure that they, help the small business owner as well.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
And also, like,
yeah,
just standing in the shoes of a small business, a lot of times, even though you don't have the budget or the investment like big enterprise, there's many things you can learn from them. A lot of times, like a big enterprise, because of the investment and budget they have, they're probably in the forefront of the industry. But learning from them and then innovating from your own perspective can be a really good angle for the small businesses.
now what type of AI services does Google Cloud offer?
A lot. So we have like a huge team. So my team is called Google Cloud Consulting, and under that there is a branch called Professional Service. And then under the professional service, there's another branch called Delta.
Wow.
So the Delta is my team. And the reason why we're called Delta, because we want to create that Delta difference and Delta impact for our clients. So we take care of like the 10x ideas, like what kind of ideas and services can we bring to our clients to make your 10x better. So that's what my team is doing. And it's really fun. But there's many different kind of professional services within Google Cloud.
Yeah, I gotta imagine. I use Google Cloud myself for some things, for some integrations with some automations that I create. But I was amazed at like all the products and services that they offer. It was just mind-boggling. AI is like taking off so fast, and it's revolutionizing business now. You just recently spoke at the AI camp in New York City. What was that like?
Yeah. So this year I decided I want to do a little bit more community events. And also just living in New York City is really good, like environment for me to like get in touch with other AI professionals, and other business who want to learn about AI. So I started to do offline events recently. And last week, very luckily, I was at one of the AI boot camps or like AI meetups. So I give a talk, which is super related to what I'm doing right now at Google Cloud. Talk about value realization for AI, or you can call like AI monetization. So we talked about some key learnings I have seen from serving my clients at Google and also from my previous life serving clients on AI at McKinsey. We also talked about several use cases. So it's a really good time like to exchange idea with other AI professionals from different industries and learn from each other.
Hey, digital marketers, entrepreneurs, and tech enthusiasts. Ready to elevate your AI game? Check out the AI-powered marketer newsletter from Keith Bell, host of the AI-powered marketing show. The AI-powered marketer newsletter is your go-to resource, packed with actionable insights, cutting-edge tools, and the latest news in AI and digital marketing. Whether you're optimizing sales funnels, exploring new AI strategies, or staying ahead of industry trends, this newsletter has you covered. Don't miss out on the chance to supercharge your marketing efforts. Subscribe now. Just click the link in the show notes to sign up today, and remember, the future of marketing is here and it's powered by AI. See you in the newsletter.
Now, I saw another post where you were kind of disappointed because you didn't get to see the CEO of NVIDIA.
No,
What?
I saw him. I didn't get
Oh,
the
did you get to
signature,
see him?
but I saw him pretty close.
Yeah. Where was that event? That looks pretty interesting because NVIDIA is like hot right now. They're like everybody's talking about them.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So that was mid-March. So I don't know when this episode will be released. So that was mid-March 2025. And the conference is GTC. It is NVIDIA's AI conference. It's really big. I think there was like 25,000 attendees. So it's
wow.
huge. It's a really fun conference. So there's like 3 major days. One major day we talk about agentic AI, which is like very hot topic nowadays, and very like a lot of like use cases for business across the size of the business. And the second day we talk about robotics, which Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA and NVIDIA itself has been always very passionate about. They always believe like AI is not just digital. When AI is embodied into physical robots and physical arms and physical life, it is the true power of AI. So they dedicate like a whole day on robotics and talk about like the latest technology, the latest application of robots. And the last day we talk about quantum computing, which is another very edgy topic. But probably super early on. Not many realistic use cases at this point. But it's very important. And they were talking about like how do you combine accelerated computing or GPU, which is the core of NVIDIA's business, with quantum computing. So if you're interested in quantum computing, any listeners, my perspective is probably something like several decades out, but it's always learn about it now, so we'll be ready at that time.
Yeah, well, I did it. I actually did a podcast episode earlier in the year on quantum computing, and I think one of the things that scared the hell out of me was the fact that it could decrypt. It had the power to decrypt bank encryption protocols like that. My background is in law enforcement. I was a fraud investigator with a small police department, and it was kind of scary to see, how powerful and how much energy. You don't think about this, how much electricity you have to use. And then I learned that some of the big tech companies are investing in nuclear power. Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah. I think all the technology advancement is like costing more and more power or energy. Like even so, like I think there was like a thing like if you do a ChatGPT query versus you Google something on Google and you dig on the links, not the AI overview on the top, the cost of energy is like 10 times difference. And then I can imagine with quantum computing, with the more powerful things it could do without more classical computers probably cost more energies. And I'm a big fan of clean energy. Like I do hope like one day we can reach. I mean, nuclear power is kind of like one of the clean energies, I guess.
Yeah.
As long as it's not oil and gas, it's clean energy.
Yeah, I am with you there because I'm 61 years old, and I come from the era where a lot of us were scared by what happened with 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania back in the late 70s, and it really kind of put a damper on nuclear power for a very long time. But now I'm reading about some of these technologies that they have like micro reactors that are the size of maybe a pickup truck that can power an entire city. I mean, and it's totally clean and it's safe because they're using a different type of technology. So it's just amazing some of the stuff that comes out. But before I forget, I'm going to ask you about Agentic AI. I'm actually starting to explore this, and I still don't completely understand it. What is Agentic AI?
Yeah, I think the difference between like a ChatGPT versus agentic AI is agentic AI can take actions for you and can plan things or do things step by step. So if you think about ChatGPT, right, you ask a question, you get an answer. You ask a question, you get an answer. So first, it is term-based. So you give it one action, it give one action back. So this is called term-based. And secondly, it can't do anything for you. You can ask about all the questions, but it's not actually gonna, book any flights or make any dinner reservation for you, even though it can do all the research. Agentic AI, on the other hand, is one, it can do actions. So if you ask it, can you book me this flight? It can book the flight for you. And secondly, it can do step-by-step reasoning. So maybe you can give it like a really vague answer, like a prompt to say, think about going to like Pennsylvania, for example, and my preferred airline is United Airline, and this is a date I'm thinking, and I hate early mornings. Please avoid traffic time for me, and also look on my calendar to make sure I don't have conflict meetings. So, and then the AI will like do multiple things, like look up all the flights to Pennsylvania, and then check the calendar, make sure there's no overlap, look up the traffic hours and make sure there's no overlap, eventually book you a flight. So that's the power of agentic AI, take actions and step-by-step reasoning.
Yeah, it seems like from what I'm seeing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like a lot of third-party providers are really on top of this agentic AI. The platforms themselves, like I saw that ChatGPT not too long ago just introduced, I forget what they call it, but they're projects where you can change to projects and it'll do like limited things for you. Is that what you're seeing too, where like third-party companies are jumping on the agentic bandwagon?
Yeah. So I think there's like maybe largely two type of agentic AI. There's like agentic AI for our personal life, like make flights for you, book dinner reservation for you, like call your wife at the appropriate time.
Can it cook?
with that we need robotics. So not fully there yet. And I think probably on personal AI is really difficult, and not many players can do it. I think Apple and Google are two of the major players who have a lot of resources. Think about Apple and Google. They know your schedule. They have your calendar. They have your email. They know what you're gonna do. They know the places you have been. So for Apple and Google, it could be a future important play, but it's difficult to get there because you need to give authority, you need to give control to the AI. It's like, yeah, look at my calendar, look at my email. Like I'll tell you what my wife likes. So that's later. But what is more popular right now is more like business agentic AI. There's like one use case I could talk about. So like I'm sure we have all been through like a drive-through restaurant. So the client is
Mm-hmm.
Wendy's, and for Wendy's specifically, 80% of their customers prefer drive-through as the ordering system over like person-to-person ordering or ordering on the tablet. But at the same time, drive-through is the most easy channel to have a wrong order. And also a lot of time take the longest time. We probably have all been to this situation, like you try to yell at the loudest voice, can I have this cheeseburger without an onion? And then the other staff on the other side of the speaker is like, oh, you want a cheeseburger with onion? And you're like, no, without onion. And then back and forth, and you still eventually get the burger with onion. So you had to, it costs a lot of time, it costs a lot of
Yeah.
frustration, and it's a lot of wrong orders. So Google and Wendy's collaborated to develop something called Fresh AI, to have agentic AI at the drive-through to take your order. So one, the accuracy rate is really high because like just AI is really easy, can pick up what you're saying without any like accuracy, without any like low accuracy rate. And the secondly, it also saved the store, like a staff on the other side to order with you. So it's like cost saving. At the same time, it saves time. So I think based on their results, it's like 22 seconds below the industry average, which is quite high because it's usually like a 1 minute conversation. If they can save like 22 seconds, that's a lot. And then eventually they improve the accuracy rate to like 99%. So for them, this is a really good use case how agentic UI is used in business right now. It gave customers a better experience. It gave a more accurate customer experience, and also at the same time saved cost for the business, and eventually just like have more incremental revenue because of the retention rate is better because customers are happy. So I think this is more popular now than the personal agentic AI.
Yeah, it seems like something similar to what Starbucks did with but theirs is more of a marketing agentic AI where I don't know if you know this, but did you drink Starbucks?
Nah, I'm not a coffee drinker.
Okay, so unfortunately, I am. After 25 years in law enforcement, you drink coffee. But one of the things that Starbucks does is if you get within so many feet of a Starbucks, you'll start getting bombarded with, text messages and messages if you have the Starbucks app. Are you going to be stopping by? Hey, stop by. We've got a discount on things, and it's like I forget what the word is for it. It's like a GPS fence that they set up like so many miles out. And, I was driving through Philadelphia and I started getting text messages from my Starbucks app. Hey, stop on by. We got, a discount. Is that kind of like an agentic AI or is that more of like an automation type thing?
Mm, I mean, just I haven't heard about a case, but just from your description, that seems like more like a location-based marketing play. There
Yeah.
might be AI layer in that. There might be some like AI layers, like say if you're super close, like you're literally in the store, what kind of things they will push you versus you just like literally driving through, has nothing to do with driving to the store, what will happen. But it sounds more like a location-based marketing.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, you probably give the app access to access your location.
Yeah, I think what happened was I just signed up for the Starbucks app not too long because I got for my birthday I got like $60 worth of
Oh,
Starbucks gift cards.
that's good.
So, oh yeah, so I had to set it up, and of course, as soon as I started driving by Starbucks because they're everywhere, as soon as I started driving by them, I was like, "What's this?" But yeah, I'm really interested in agentic AI. Like you said, it seems like it's more on the business side right now, not so much on the personal side. But of course, with AI, we'll catch up fast. Now you've worked you've worked with some major brands turning uh, AI into actual revenue. Is that correct?
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on right at my job right now.
Okay.
Are you a digital marketer ready to take your strategies to the next level? Introducing Make.com, the platform that's transforming how AI-driven marketers, like listeners of the AI-powered marketing show, work smarter and achieve more. Listeners of the AI-powered marketing show are already leveraging Make.com to automate complex workflows, integrate favorite tools, and scale their strategies with ease. Imagine advanced automation handling repetitive tasks, freeing you to focus on innovation. With Make.com no-code tools and AI integrations, automating everything from lead nurturing to social media management is now as easy as clicking play on your favorite podcast. Hey, listeners of the AI-powered marketing show, are you ready to start your free trial with Make.com today and experience the power of AI-driven marketing automation? Click the link in the episode description and get started now.
So, what are some use cases that Google has developed for generating revenue with AI?
Yeah, I think it's more like a methodology instead of like a tool, because it will be like a series of tools. So at Delta, which is the branch in Google Cloud, which I'm working at, we have something called AI Factory, which is like along every single step that you're innovating, how do we help you? So we define it into 4 different stages. So the first one will be activate. It's like, oh, you want to use AI, but you don't know exactly what to do, which is a lot of uncertainty. And then at this stage, we'll probably help you like, size the market, define your value drivers, define your advantages versus disadvantages, analyze the market for you. And then secondly, it will come to like navigate. So navigate is the time like you are thinking about like brainstorming about a use case that you want to do with AI. So maybe one, you want to do like a AI co-pilot for your employee to write emails and generate documents faster. Maybe you have another use case to write ad copies faster. Then you have another AI pilot maybe to generate all kinds of product images faster. So you think you will like prioritize through them through like impact and feasibility. You see, okay, which one has the highest impact and at the same time lowest feasibility. So that might be like a low hanging fruit you go after first. And then from there you develop a plan. So that's what we help on this stage. And then if you're over that, then you go into like a third stage called accelerate. So accelerate talk about like you're developing this AI, maybe you're customizing this AI, you're feeding the AI with your own data, and maybe you're testing your like A/B, you're doing all kind of A/B testing to see like what's the incremental impact, those things. So here we'll probably start developing the ROI model, which is like a core part of this value realization, because at this stage you can probably clearly see what does my success look like, how much it's going to cost me if I scale it completely, and what is my ROI. So we'll do like a robust ROI financial model here. And lastly, it will be transformed. So like if you passed all of the previous stage, you have a good idea, you have a plan, you develop the tool, and you project ROI to be good, then you scale this to all your customers, your entire business. At this point, you would turn your ROI from projected ROI to realized ROI. So this is like the framework we're doing. There's all different kinds of analysis we do, modelings we do. So that's why I said it's more like a methodology instead of like a tool.
Now, do you make use of predictive analytics in terms of behavior and psychographics and all that?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that I preach to all my audience and to everyone that will listen is know who your customer is. Know who your buyer persona is. How important that is that in this methodology that you're using, knowing who your customer is?
Yeah, like very important. So I see like two end users very frequently. One is for your own employee, which is like very important play. Almost all companies have some employee productivity play right now. So what is the employee you're targeting? What is their habit? If you have this tool, are they actually going to use it? Because like developing a tool is not the end of story, right? Have your employees correctly use it is the key place. So like we have to deal with like management change force too. And then the second will be like in more marketing sense, like your end users, the users of your app, of your product, of your service. And then I think that's the power part of AI. You can tell AI to customize for different segments of your customers. If you remember, maybe like pre-ChatGPT or pre-Gen AI, we talk about like personalization a lot. And that time, there's like a copywriter in the corner of the room. He needs to write 50 different copies because there's a segment of like people go after coupons. There's another segment people who like about to churn. There's like different copies. So I literally remember this, like my client always have this copywriter, maybe a group of copywriters to try to achieve personalization. But with AI, things are so much easier. You can easily tell him, okay, I have 500 segments of customers, and here's your description, and write me 500 different copies. So actually seeing the end user segmentation and audience understanding much easier with AI.
Yeah, I remember when ChatGPT came out, I got so sick of seeing in all my marketing stuff that I created content wise is ChatGPT can help you personalize. It was like nonstop. But what do you see as some future trends like in the AI world that are going to change how you do your job?
Yeah, I think there will be a lot. So if the audience of this podcast is more marketing people, there is one area I'm very specifically interested in paying a lot of attention to. I think is measurement. Marketing measurement is never an easy thing. So like traditionally we have this like marketing mix model, like MMM model, which is super complex to build and doesn't really work 100% of the time. And then we have all kinds of like Google marketing platform has Google like look back window, they have their own look back windows. They have their own their Google platform models, and Facebook have their own models. Like measurement in marketing is always like a topic, like is always working, but it's never working like 100%. So recently I've seen some new discovery on this end. There is a technology called spike neural networks. So it's like a neural network that mimics the people's brain, but instead of constant signals, like a data flow or streaming data, it follows spike data, which makes more sense if you think about our real world. Because as an end user, maybe, I see an ad on Facebook about your brand. And 3 days later, I see a billboard. And maybe 5 days later, my friend told me something about your brand. So it's all spikes, it's not continuous. And the gaps can be pretty long. So when you talk about, okay, what is the effectiveness of the Facebook ad that I saw 3 months ago? I think with all kinds of marketing mix models or like machine learning models, it's really hard to catch that, right? But if you have like a neural network with spikes, that might be better to capture like the different stages of touch with customers through marketing channels. So that is obviously, this is a new area. Nothing is super mature yet, but I think this could be very cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool because it sounds like from what you're explaining, the human brain's the same way. We're not always thinking about, like, I'll use my coffee example. I'm not thinking about drinking a caramel macchiato from Starbucks 24/7. It just happens, almost impulsively. So that data comes in the same way, right? Is that kind of like a fair assessment?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So cool. That is very cool. I mean, I'm just enthralled with all the things that AI is doing. Where do you see like, how do you think or how far along do you think we are towards AGI?
That's a very interesting topic. So recently I listened to a talk to Yang LeQuinn, who is like leader of AI at Meta. Which I saw him in person at the GTC conference too, which we just talked about, the conference for NVIDIA AI. And then he personally talked about, like, he doesn't really like the word AGI because he thinks human intelligence is not general. Therefore, you say artificial general intelligence is a wrong way of defining it. He is more into like, I think is AMI, artificial machine intelligence. So how to use machine to mimic human intelligence. And then I think there's people on the market or leaders on the market like Sam Altman, who's like big advocate for Gen AI and constantly predict it will be soon, like soon, maybe within 5 years, which is like really soon. And there will be leaders like Yang LeQuinn, also significant leader in the AI space, who's against that. And I don't think like whatever you call it, won't be that soon. With this conflict in the industry, I think my personal feeling is that I think we can get industry expert AI pretty quickly. So let's say an AI who knows like a specific field in the doctor, who knows specific field in pharmaceutical, because just AI just have much faster capability to digest knowledge and like gain knowledge than human being. But I think it will be really difficult to have an AI who knows everything better than human being at all time. That will be difficult for me to believe, and I don't know how long it would take us to get there. But I'll be very happy with the specialized AI in our daily life to help us.
Yeah, I've heard everything, like you said, Sam Altman, 5 years to what's his name, Dr. David Nguyen from Stanford
Yeah, yeah,
University. You know what I'm talking
yes.
about? Yeah, he's like, he thinks that it could be, well off into the 100 of years. So I don't necessarily believe that either. I think we're somewhere in the middle, but the opinions vary, I guess, about where we are. And we're already seeing, like you said, you're already seeing pushback on just the verbiage. AI versus or AGI versus AMI. You're already seeing that on your side of things. So, well, I'm going to wrap things up here. You have been a phenomenal guest. If somebody wants to learn more about you and what you're doing and what you're up to, what's the best way for them to find you?
Yeah, I'm very active on LinkedIn, so feel free to look me up. Eva Dong, work for Google. I think you see the top one is me. I'm trying to be more active on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Eva Dong 1010. Trying to get there yet, but that'll be the two best ways.
Now, you have any trips planned this year? I know last year you were in China. You said you're in Europe and everything.
Yeah. So that was last year. This year, I try to take things a little bit more stable. But I am going to Colombia in July to speak at an AI conference in Latam. That's very exciting. Never been to
That's
Latam,
cool.
so it'll be new experience.
Now, where's your family from in China?
So I'm from the northeast part of China.
Okay. My two nieces that my sisters adopted are both from the southwest of China. I guess down closer towards Beijing, maybe.
If it's
That
southwest, it's definitely now Beijing.
or southeast,
South,
closer to the
that'll
coast.
be Shanghai.
Shanghai area.
Yeah.
That okay. That's probably the big city. But yeah, they were both adopted when they were 3 or 4 years old. They're now one's at St. Joe's University, and the other one just graduated with a degree in neuroscience from Arizona State. So, but yeah, they both were adopted and they were brought over from China. So, but Anyway, again, thank you so much. I know we've been working hard to try to get this to happen and make it a reality. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Keith, for having me. And then hope to collaborate again soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll call you back again.